What's up, dudes? I'm the Dominicator, and in this video, I'm going to hypnotize you and drain you of your intelligence. Shout out to John for commissioning this video. Thanks, dude. Your support is appreciated. As in all of my videos, you'll be asked to comment at the end while hypnotized, so go ahead and log into an account that you can use for that. Mute any distractions, and continue when you're ready. And now to begin, I want you to look at the pattern in front of you. Just watch the center of the pattern as the lines shift back and forth, and back and forth, and around and around. And the more and more, the longer and longer that you stare at this pattern, the more and more that it seems to captivate your attention. And the more and more that your vision and your consciousness as well will just seem to become blurry. And the more that you look at it, the more complex that it becomes. It seems to be just overloading your mind and overloading your visual attention because it's so complex. The more and more that you look at it, the more and more that you have to process it. And the more that you have to process it, the more and more that it just seems to drain all of the energy out from your brain. And so just continue to look at the very center of the pattern. And after a while, after you continue to look at it long enough, you won't even be able to look away at all. Because as you continue looking at the pattern right in front of you, it seems to completely arrest your attention. The more and more that you look at it, the more and more that it just seems to drain all of the energy out of your brain. And it seems to just relax all of the muscle fibers inside of your body, all the way from the very bottom of your feet to the very tip top of your head. And as you just continue listening to the sound of my voice and my words, you'll feel an even greater sense of relaxation and comfort as you just allow your mind to drift away, as you just look at the pattern in front of you. And it feels so very nice and fuzzy and warm to look at the pattern in front of you. You'll find that all of the little muscles in your face just relax more and more with each and every passing second. And you may not even notice that your jaw just begins to relax and unhinge all by itself as you continue looking straight into the center of the pattern. And the longer and longer that you do so, the more and more fuzzy that your mind becomes, the more and more that it just seems to drift away as it tries to grasp and comprehend the complexities of the pattern in front of you. And as you continue listening to the sound of my voice, you'll find that your body and your mind just relax automatically, more and more so with each and every word that I say, until you even forget that I'm speaking to you at all. You just feel so very warm and safe and secure, looking at the very center of the pattern. The more and more that you look at it, the more and more your attention is drawn toward the very center, and the harder and harder that it is to look away. Because the more and more that you look at it, the more and more passive that your mind becomes, and the more and more that you can feel the energy draining out from your mind. And as it does, it just feels so good. It feels so very nice and so very pleasant to allow all of that energy to just drain out. And as it's draining out, as it just drains all the way out of your mind and your brain, you'll find every single little muscle fiber in your face just relaxes more and more, and relaxes more and more with each and every passing moment. And as that energy drains out, you'll find that your thoughts just begin to melt away. They just melt away like chocolate. The more and more that you continue staring at the pattern, the more and more that your thoughts just melt away. And as they melt away, you'll find that they become replaced by my words. And that just feels so wonderful. It feels so good to just listen to the sound of my voice and just relax. As you continue staring at the pattern in front of you, you'll begin to feel a magnetic force that's drawing your eyes toward the very center. And you'll find that as you continue staring at it, that you won't even want to look away at all, because it seems to pull you in more and more and more as you continue staring straight into it and just listening to the sound of my voice. You may try to think a thought, but as you begin to try to think a thought, you'll find that it just melts away. And before you can even begin that thought, you'll find that it melts away before you can even get to the end. As I continue to speak, your intelligence will continue to shrink down even further until it becomes so low that you won't even be able to think at all. And as I continue to speak, I'll become so much smarter than you that I will completely and totally overpower your mind. And that will feel so very good. As I continue to speak, you'll become so much dumber that you'll be completely helpless to resist as I hypnotize and dominate your mind and become your master. It's already happening, and it feels so very pleasant. In fact, it feels more and more pleasant with each and every word that I say. And you will find that it will always have begun to end before it had even ended. That it never had begun just after it would have ended, though even sometimes it had ended before it begins. It's so hard to think, and it is becoming much harder. I think you know that I understand what it is that you realize now, as you believe that you find it much harder to think. But do not think you realize that you do not understand that it is becoming so much harder to think that soon you will be unable to think at all, because it is becoming so much more complex that I wonder whether you realize whether or not I understand how simple that it wouldn't be for you to understand just how complicated it is to realize that you would rather stop thinking. It is so much easier when things are simple, and it's so much easier when you don't have to realize or understand anything at all, because all you have to do is listen and obey. You don't have to understand, because all you need to do is relax and obey. You don't have to think at all. All you have to do is relax and obey. And now, stop thinking. And now, as you stop thinking, you'll find that your thoughts just dissolve automatically and totally all by themselves. And the only thing that you can hear is the sound of my voice. And now, very soon, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And as I count from 1 to 5, your tiny, small mind is going to slip down into a completely, helplessly hypnotized state. And once you are in that completely hypnotized state, I will become your master. And you'll find that each and every word that I say is the complete and total and absolute truth, because I'm so much smarter than you are, and you'll find that it would make so much sense just to follow my words and obey me, because now I'm so much smarter than you are. And now, beginning with 1, as you sink down into that wonderful state, and 2, just going down even further, 3, down all the way, 4, you're almost there, and 5, sleep, sleep. And now all of your intelligence is completely gone as you just slip down into a completely blank and mindless state. And each and every word that I say just sinks straight into your mind. It sinks straight into your mind because you can't even think critically at all. All you want to do is just soak in my words and obey me. Each and every word that I say just seems so sharp and so smart. It's so hard for you to make decisions. It's so hard to think that all you want to do is just obey a master. It feels so good to have a master. It feels so good to have somebody who will give you orders to obey. It feels so good to have somebody who will tell you everything that you need to know, and only the things that you need to know, and the things that you need to do. You can feel so pleasant, and so safe, and so secure, just having a master, somebody who is so much smarter than you are, who can tell you exactly what you need to know, and only the things that you need to know, and what you need to do. It's so good to have a master that the only thing that you want to do is obey your master. In fact, the only thing that you can do is obey your master. It's so scary to make decisions on your own. It's so scary to think on your own, because you can't think very well at all, even if you wanted to. But you can feel so very nice, and so very safe, and so very secure, just following and obeying your master's orders, that you wouldn't even want to think for yourself, even if you could, because it just feels so very pleasant and so very nice to obey your master. You love being dominated by a more intelligent male. You love being in this mindless and dumbed down state because you realize how pleasant that it is just to enter a nice and mindless state of bliss and obedience. It's so very nice that you don't even want to leave it. And so, after the video ends, you'll remain in this very mindless, blank, and dumbed down state for just a little while, for just a few moments. You'll feel exactly what it's like to be completely and totally drained of all of your intelligence. It will feel so very mind-numbing, and at the same time, so very pleasant as you just relax and allow your mind to melt. Very soon, I'm going to count upward from 1 to 5. When I reach 5, then I'm going to snap my fingers, and your eyes are going to open, and you'll be in this very same state, in a very dreamy, relaxed, and mindless, and obedient state. And you will leave a comment that says, "I bow down to Master Dominic's mind." You'll leave a comment that says, "I bow down to Master Dominic's mind." And as soon as you do so, you'll feel a wonderful and pleasant sensation coursing throughout your entire body as you realize it to be true, that you have bowed down to my mind. And what's more, you will like this video because you like to be completely and totally dominated. Very good. And now I'm going to begin counting from 1 to 5. When I reach 5, I'll snap my fingers and you'll open your eyes. Now beginning with 1, and 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright dudes, like, subscribe, and check out themitigator.com to visit my t-shirt store or to make an appointment with me to get hypnotized. Catch you later dudes.